Staring at a crowded browser header full of identical, truncated text bubbles is a universal recipe for mental fatigue. Most workers simply accept this chaotic digital environment as an unchangeable reality of modern remote work. The truth is that a few precise adjustments can unlock hidden speed boosts and organizational layouts that make heavy multitasking feel effortless. So, this is why in this video, we will be focusing on flags, a special Chrome features that can help you improve the productivity when using this browser. However, it is good to know that Google is constantly improving and changing flags, so the deep architectural tweaks discussed today might shift positions or merge into standard settings in future updates. If you are ready, let's begin with a visual flip that completely reclaims the monitor layout. Opening more than 10 links usually results in a row of tiny, useless icons where text goes to die. Finding that one specific spreadsheet becomes a guessing game that derails focus and wastes precious seconds. Vertical tabs completely reorganizes the layout by shifting the crowded tab bar from the top of the screen to a neat, readable sidebar. Suddenly, every single page title is fully visible, allowing for instant navigation without the squinting. This specific configuration earns a spot because human eyes naturally scan vertical lists much faster than horizontal rows. Standard widescreen monitors have massive amounts of unused horizontal space, making a sidebar layout infinitely more logical for multitasking. Laptop users especially benefit from the reclaimed vertical screen real estate, which makes reading long documents feel much roomier. Activating this sidebar completely alters daily multitasking habits. It keeps a workspace looking like a polished command center rather than a chaotic digital junkyard. Long page titles are never cut off, meaning those identical-looking cloud documents are finally distinguishable at a glance. Sliding the mouse over to the left edge reveals everything instantly, and the sidebar can easily be collapsed when full-screen focus is required. This layout serves remote researchers, data analysts, and writers who constantly jump between dozens of reference sources. Anyone tired of accidentally closing the wrong page because the buttons are too small will find immediate relief here. It completely transforms the browsing experience for professionals bound to a single monitor setup. Next up is a hidden accelerator that completely destroys artificial waiting times. Waiting for a massive project archive or a high-definition video file to finish downloading is an absolute productivity killer. Standard configurations fetch data in a single stream, which frequently chokes on server caps or spotty connections. Parallel downloading bypasses this bottleneck by breaking large files into multiple subfiles and downloading them simultaneously. This simple algorithmic shift multiplies download speeds significantly without requiring a faster internet plan. The sheer efficiency gain is why this tweak earned a permanent spot on this countdown. Heavy downloaders often blame their internet service provider for sluggish speeds when the bottleneck is actually just conservative browser settings. Forcing multiple connection channels maximizes the available bandwidth, turning a 10-minute wait into a 30-second sprint. It is pure optimization that requires zero third-party assistance or paid upgrades. Large attachments, massive asset packs, and system images will fly into local storage at unprecedented speeds. The back-end wizardry seamlessly pieces the fragments back together the moment the transfer concludes, requiring absolutely no extra effort. It works quietly in the background on every single download link, ensuring maximum performance across the board. Speeding up file intake keeps momentum high during critical project crunches. This modification targets digital creators, remote video editors, and developers who routinely handle massive file packages under tight deadlines. Students downloading dense academic datasets or textbook archives will also save hours of idle waiting time. It is a mandatory upgrade for anyone who values instantaneous data delivery. Speaking of speed, the next feature eliminates clutter from reading materials with a single click. Web articles nowadays look like a neon-soaked arcade, cluttered with flashing banners, newsletter pop-ups, and auto-playing videos. Trying to study a complex piece of documentation under these conditions is an uphill battle against short attention spans. Reading mode. Experimental Immersive Mode places a direct read button right in the URL bar to immediately strip away ads and distractions. One click isolates the core text and places it into a pristine, customizable sidebar. This feature earned its place because text consumption should not require running a gauntlet of marketing trackers. It replaces clunky extensions that often slow down performance or compromise privacy. The built-in sidebar allows for real-time adjustment of font sizes, background colors, and line spacing to match individual visual preferences. It treats the web like a clean, elegant textbook rather than a billboard. Simultaneous viewing is the real magic here, as the original page stays active on the left while the clean text populates the right. Researching complex topics becomes incredibly efficient when notes can be taken directly from a pristine, ad-free column. It even includes text-to-speech functionality, allowing busy eyes to rest while listening to long-form reports. The interface remains lightweight, loading instantly without hitching or freezing the system. This setup is tailor-made for students compiling literature reviews, journalists vetting sources, and developers digesting lengthy technical documentation. Anyone who suffers from visual fatigue after hours of online reading will instantly appreciate this clean environment. It turns the modern internet back into a place of quiet focus. Next, let us silence one of the most annoying interruptions on the web. Background noise is incredibly jarring when a random web page decides to blare an unprompted video ad or music track. Tracking down the offending page usually involves scanning a massive row of icons, clicking through options, or muting the entire computer. Tab Audio Muting UI Control lets you click the little speaker icon directly on a loud tab to silence it instantly. This restores sanity without forcing a whole site mute or interrupting other audio streams. This control made the cut because it restores immediate physical agency over the browser audio environment. Standard settings require right-clicking and navigating a context menu, which is far too slow when a loud presentation starts blasting during a conference call. Adding a direct, clickable icon turns a clunky, multi-step process into a single reflex action. It is a masterclass in common-sense interface design. Running multiple media streams or monitoring live audio feeds becomes vastly simpler with this quick toggle capability. Background videos can be silenced with a single tap while keeping the actual page open for reference. It prevents embarrassing moments during remote meetings by giving absolute, instant control over unexpected sound cues. The speaker icon acts as a clear visual indicator and a physical switch all at once. This modification is essential for power users who multitask across multiple communication hubs, video feeds, and music dashboards simultaneously. Office workers who keep various news sites open in the background will find it incredibly useful for maintaining a quiet workspace. It is the definitive volume knob for the modern internet experience. Moving forward, keeping work organized right as links are opened is the next logical step. Spawning new links from a carefully organized project folder usually results in those new pages being sent to the very end of the tab line. This fragmentation forces users to manually drag pages across the screen to keep them associated with the relevant project. Add new tabs to the active tab group keeps messy work files contained by automatically sliding new links into the active folder group. It builds a self-organizing workspace that respects current context boundaries. This automation earned its spot by removing the friction of manual digital housekeeping. Keeping a tidy workspace shouldn't feel like a second job, yet manual grouping requires constant clicking and dragging. This adjustment ensures that deep dive research sessions remain organized by default, grouping child pages natively with their parent sources. It saves mental energy, keeping attention locked on the actual task instead of window organization. Clicking an external link or opening a new reference page during a specific task keeps that new asset firmly within the color-coded project bubble. The rest of the browser remains completely untouched, preventing unrelated work streams from bleeding into each other. It turns a static folder layout into a dynamic, intelligent system that grows naturally alongside your workflow. Clean workspaces lead directly to clearer thinking during stressful work sessions. This function serves project managers, software engineers, and online shoppers who track dozens of interconnected pages simultaneously. Anyone who naturally works across multiple distinct projects throughout the day will love how it compartmentalizes information automatically. It ensures that context switching never results in digital chaos. The next evolution of this concept involves hiding those groups when they are not needed. Having multiple color-coded groups open simultaneously can quickly clutter the screen, defeating the purpose of organizing them in the first place. Visual noise builds up fast when every single folder remains expanded, taking up valuable horizontal real estate. Tab groups. Focusing solves this by automatically collapsing and hiding inactive tab groups on your top bar to keep your workspace decluttered. Clicking into a new section immediately closes the previous group, keeping the active focus area front and center. This feature is indispensable because human focus is incredibly fragile when surrounded by digital clutter. Keeping old tasks visible acts as a constant subconscious distraction, whispering about unfinished work. Automating the collapse mechanism ensures that only the current project occupies visual space, creating a clean environment for deep work. It brings the sleek efficiency of virtual desktops directly into a single browser window. Switching gears from email management to client reporting happens seamlessly without manual folding and unfolding. The browser handles the transitions instantly, expanding the target group while tucking the rest away into neat, single-word labels. It maximizes the breathing room on smaller laptop displays, making compact screens feel twice as large. The interface becomes reactive, shifting shapes based on exactly what is being worked on. This is a game changer for freelancers handling multiple clients at once, or students balancing separate course modules throughout the evening. Anyone overwhelmed by a chaotic visual layout will find immediate peace of mind with this clean behavior. It enforces strict boundaries between different areas of responsibility. Next, creating these groups is about to become a whole lot faster. Organizing pages into groups is an incredible way to work, but digging through submenus to actually create those groups is a chore. This clunky path often discourages people from staying organized, leading right back to a messy desktop. Create New Tab Group App Menu Top Level pulls this vital feature out of deep submenus and sticks it right at the top level of the right-click menu. This simple change grants instant, click-saving access to workspace organization. This optimization made the list because reducing interface friction is the core of true productivity. Saving 2 clicks might sound trivial, but multiplying that across hundreds of daily interactions saves serious time and prevents mental fatigue. Elevating organization to a primary action encourages consistent workspace maintenance, making tidy habits completely effortless. It respects the value of a user's time and physical movement. Right-clicking any page now presents an immediate path to clean structure without forcing navigation through secondary pop-ups. New projects can be spun up in a fraction of a second, keeping pace with fast-moving brainstorming sessions. It removes the barrier to entry for folder management, turning organization into a natural reflex rather than a deliberate chore. Keeping things tidy becomes just as fast as creating a mess. This adjustment is built for fast-paced professionals, digital agency workers, and researchers who operate at high speeds. Anyone who values hotkeys, shortcuts, and streamlined interfaces will love having this capability pushed directly to the front line. It turns a buried feature into an accessible, everyday asset. Finally, the last tweak introduces direct creative freedom over live web pages. Explaining visual feedback or capturing layout ideas often requires taking screenshots, opening editing applications, and re-exporting files. This multi-step process breaks creative momentum and complicates communication with teams or clients. Experimental Web Platform features unlocks experimental browser toolbars that allow students and remote workers to annotate or draw mockups right over live web layouts. Markups can happen instantly on the live page without relying on heavy extensions. This deep integration secures the final spot on the list because it bridges the gap between passive consumption and active creation. Drawing directly onto live code environments or article layouts changes how ideas are captured and shared. It bypasses heavy, privacy-invasive screenshot utilities by utilizing native rendering systems hidden deep within the engine. The resulting notes remain crisp, accurate, and completely aligned with the underlying content. Highlighting a design flaw, Mocking up a new button placement or sketching a diagram over an article happens instantly. These visual notes can be captured or shared immediately, removing the clunkiness of old-school presentation methods. It turns the browser into an interactive whiteboard, making remote collaboration feel deeply natural and immediate. Creative ideas can be recorded the exact second inspiration strikes. This superpower is tailored for web designers, product managers, marketing teams, and remote students collaborating on group presentations. Anyone who regularly uses visual aids to communicate complex thoughts will find this native capability absolutely liberating. It transforms a standard page reader into a fully functional creative canvas. Mastering these hidden internal frameworks completely alters how information is processed, organized, and utilized during intense digital work. Reclaiming control over layout structure, downloading performance, and visual organization saves countless hours of frustration. Which hidden adjustment are you going to activate first to save your sanity? Leave a comment below with your favorite, drop a like if these layout shifts helped your workflow, and subscribe to keep optimizing your digital workspace. Keep pushing the boundaries of your desk setup.